Welcome to the Adventure in Puntland on W4CY Radio.
Oh my God, it's Positively Pipe Man segment of the Adventures of Pipe Man here on W4CY Radio. And what a journey it's been to get this show going, because I was traveling on planes since yesterday. Let's see, it was like I left my house at like 9 in the morning. I see Juan, message him. I saw something happen with the pet health guru. Make sure to message him. He touched the phone. And so let's bring him on so I can tell him anyway. Hey, Bill, you touched the phone. You touched the phone. So now what does he have to do, Juan, to get it back?
Refresh
the page?
Mm-hmm.
Refresh your page for this, Bill, because don't touch the phone. It went black. Refresh it so you can come back in the studio and I'll finish introing.
Well, actually, any pop-up will make you do that. Even if you don't touch it, if there's a pop-up that comes up, it'll do it. So you have to put it on do not disturb.
Yeah, put it on do not disturb, Bill. I don't know if he can hear me or not now. Okay, he can because he refreshed. But anyway, I had 3 planes I had to take. And the layovers, man, there was such a small gap because I had to literally, first, when I got to Atlanta, I had to run to the other side of the airport. If you know how huge the Atlanta airport is, it's freaking huge. Okay. And I had like a 50-pound backpack on my back running across the airport. And so there he is, Bill. Make sure the phone's on do not disturb. Make sure it's on do not disturb because that way anything that pops up will turn you black. Like that. But that's okay. Put it on do not disturb and then refresh your page again and then it won't happen again. So anyway, Juan, so there was that. And then I had to take, another flight to Amsterdam. And Amsterdam airport is huge. And I literally 9 minutes to get to my flight in Amsterdam. Okay. And basically, I had to run really fast with that 50-pound backpack. And I basically just made the bus. Because there's a bus that takes you to a plane in Amsterdam. You don't like walk onto the plane. You have to get on a bus and it brings you to a plane on the tarmac. He's black again. Tell him to bring him on. Let's refresh. Refresh your page, Bill. One more time. Refresh the page. This is the world of technology, people. But what's great about it is I'm in Germany, he's in Florida, and we're still going to be able to do this. And so as soon as he refreshes the page, then he should be back and we should be good. But anyway, so yeah, then I did that. Then I flew to Hamburg. Then I drove from Hamburg to Wacken. I got my press credentials. I came to the hotel and I slept for a couple hours because I didn't sleep for like 24 hours. So now we're going to get to the pet health guru in a second. What we're talking about today, folks, is buyer beware. This is a raw food alert. Really, it's a raw food alert. And so as soon as Bill comes on, we're going to talk about that. And how does it feel to have me sitting on your head, Juan?
What do you mean?
Well, look at the banner behind you.
Yeah, it's a bit creepy because it feels like you're always watching over my shoulder. You know what I mean?
Well, I am. That's why.
It's like you're micromanaging me from the poster.
Yeah. So yeah, because what I did is I drilled in the hole on the weekend. I drilled through the wall, and there's two holes where my eyes are on there, and that's watching you at all times. Oh my God. So yeah, here I am I touched the holy ground. They call it the holy ground. Okay, let's see if we're lucky here. There he is. There he is. Yes, yes, we got you. It's okay because I covered us telling my whole journey to get to Germany to do this show. You don't have any idea, Bill, what I had to get through to do this show. But
I
now
know.
here, I had to fly 3 flights. I had to run through 2 airports. I don't get it. Delta made it such a short time between flights, which is kind of good, but I had to run through airports, like big airports. Atlanta and Amsterdam are huge airports. I had to go from one end to the other just to get here for your show. No sleep in 24 hours except a little couple-hour nap when I finally got to the hotel. And here we are with the pet health guru. I think we need a round of applause, Juan. Well, he went black again. Did you put it on Do Not Disturb, Bill? We can still hear you even though you're black, so you can talk if you want, right? We can still hear him if he talks, right?
No,
No?
it interferes with everything.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to call him on the phone. All right. And we're going to make this happen no matter what. No matter what, the pipe man will solve the problem. So I'm going to call him on the phone right now. And he'll be live on the air. Do, 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 do.
Okay.
Make sure your phone is on Do Not Disturb because every time something pops up, it'll turn black.
They came up, do not disturb. And of course, the first thing after the call comes in.
Yeah. So what you could do is like hit Do Not Disturb, turn off notifications. Like if you go to notifications, turn them all off. That's a good bet. So do both of those and rejoin us. And the third time will be a charm, even though it's probably the 300th time, but I'll call it third time's a charm. and I'll just keep babbling about my trip through hell to get to the holy ground of Wacken in Germany to get the pet health guru on here. We are making sure everybody gets to see the pet health guru. So do that. Shut off all notifications. Do not disturb. Come back and join us, and we should be good to go. And then you won't go black again. Remember, we don't want to go back. I'm going to hang up now while you do that. Michelle was trying to tell me something, but he hung up beforehand. Okay, so yeah, and it's going to be light out late here. Okay, it's almost 8 and it's still pretty bright outside actually. What a cool hotel here too. What a surprise. Like when I go to other countries, you don't really know. Like you can look at the pictures, but sometimes it could be a shit show when you pick something from far away and what they put up there, and just like I've seen a lot of real estate that the pictures look great and then you go see the house and it's like, what the hell is this?
Well, that's because they beautify it with AI.
Yeah. Well, even before the AI, they beautify it with,
Filters and stuff, yeah.
filters, doing different things, or like they'll Photoshop furniture in there or whatever. Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed. Da-na-na. Okay, bring them in. Okay, we might have it now, Bill.
Let's hope so.
But you sound great. So that's the good news. You look great. That's the good news.
Thank you.
And the only reason you look great is because of Michelle. Just saying. Okay.
Absolutely.
I've known you for many years. You've never looked this good. Just saying. So anyway, yeah, it's right now where I am. It's 8:00. The sun is shining bright because it stays light out late here. Bill, the festival that I'm doing here is known as the biggest in the world, The press area is open from 10 a.m. till 3 a.m. I literally have people requesting interviews like that late.
Well,
But it is. I used to do Okeechobee Fest in Florida. That one was 24 hours a day. I used to have bands call me up and they'll be like, "Hey, my set's at 2. Can you do the interview at 3?" Okay. But anyway, here's what I want to talk about. More important than anything else, I flew all the way across the world because I was so excited about what we're going to talk about today. And it's a buyer beware raw food alert. And really, I'm serious. There is a raw food alert that the pet health guru is going to inform us of. Take it away, Bill.
it's one of those incredible things that we run into all the time. People just can't wrap their head around eating, especially raw meat. But when you look in nature, every other creature on the face of the earth eats raw foods every single day
That's
for
true.
their whole life, and they're surviving.
Wow, what a concept. See,
I
even
know,
your dog agrees.
I know. That's because that's what we feed. But it's been a push in especially here in the states, that everything has to be processed or ultra processed because the government is then creating jobs and opportunities for big business. And it's not like the days when you used to be able to go directly to the farm, pick your fruits, vegetables. The farmer just slaughtered a hog or a cat, a steer, and you cut fresh steaks, and literally you could trim the meat right off it and eat it raw right there, steak tartare. They do it with fish, with sushi and sashimi, but that's specialty in restaurants. I can't do that at home. You know,
Right?
it's of course now today with the quality of food that they're raising and the way this commercial food industry works. Most of that processed food I wouldn't want to eat raw. I mean, even things like ground beef. I mean, they load that up with red food dye, and then they flush it with nitrogen gas to make it look nice and red. And it's under the shelf for 2 weeks, looking red. And then you take it home, you open it up, and it's all brown on the inside. You know, um,
How about
you
when
know,
you take a quarter pounder from McDonald's, put it on top of the refrigerator, and look at it a year later?
yeah,
Kind of like a Twinkie too.
yeah.
Twinkies do
All,
that too.
all that stuff has got so many because they want the supermarkets want foods that are going to last forever on the shelf. They don't want to throw anything out. It's got to be about profits on everything. And this is the way we raise our foods today. And that's one big part of that we have to worry about. But the other part is all this germ theory about disease, which is totally false.
Huh.
Our gut holds E. coli and salmonella as part of our digestive system. It has to break it down. And yet when, we have an issue with, well, like what was just the lettuce. Okay. So they find that a bunch of people got sick. So they're testing it for bacteria and, contamination. And they find a bacteria that is present. But did that really cause the illness, or was it the 200 chemicals that they sprayed on that lettuce before it ever got here?
Yeah, right. We don't know. How do
They're
we
not
know?
testing for poisons.
That's why I'm so happy I'm in Germany right now. Like I couldn't wait to get on the plane because I have been listen, I eat very healthy. I have been avoiding fruits and vegetables for the past few weeks, which are the mainstay of what I eat. So I was so excited to get on the plane to come to Europe and to be able to eat real food,
Yes,
and it's interesting because you know, I did got I will give Publix well, the person that worked at Publix some props because I walked into the store last week and they had all their fruits on sale, the ones that are ones you shouldn't be eating. And it didn't register at
Mhm.
first. At first, I'm putting it in the cart, and then I thought about it. I'm like, oh crap! I just grabbed blueberries. Blueberries was on the list with lettuce. So I went up to the customer service counter, and I said, you know, should I buy these blueberries? And he literally did say, I wouldn't if I were you. So I got to give props to that person that works at Publix, because probably he got in trouble by management for saying that to me if they knew,
Right.
and like, so let's not take it off the shelves. Let's just put it on sale and people will take it off the shelves for us.
That's exactly right. So we've got, between the way the food is raised and packaged and processed, and then we've got, of course, the so-called bacteria thing, which is probably not what is causing the illnesses. It's probably the chemical toxins. And when we stop and think about feeding especially our dogs, raw food, everybody's worried about parasites and all of that sort of stuff. Well, and of course, like I say, the bacteria. So we can't feed raw food because it might contain some bacterial components, E. coli, salmonella. Well, salmonella primarily is spread by feces.
Mm.
So, and unless your counters are covered in feces, you shouldn't have an issue. The same thing with the plants where they're making it. But on the other side of it, you know, it's really, really cute when your dog licks its butt and then comes up and gives you a kiss on the lips and you think it's perfectly fine.
Right? I think about that often, and I gotta say too, like going back to what you said about the farm stands. When I lived in Jersey, that's what I used to do, is stop at the farm stand on the way home from work, so my wife could make dinner for the family. Okay, I
Yeah.
won't do that now necessarily, because here's the problem. Okay, as you know, I owned a commodity brokerage firm. I traded all the commodities, including the grains. And there is, from what I know, there's no such thing as real soybeans, corn, or wheat anymore in the United States. It's all GMO.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you might find a few small farms that are still doing, heritage type seeds and that sort of thing if they can get away with it. But I mean, it's tough on them. They even if you're doing it right, and your next door neighbor, the farm right next to you, you get a nice classic regenerative farm, maybe 100, 150 acres, trying to raise fruits, vegetables, livestock in a humane way. And right next door is a 2,000-acre farm, uh, planting all this GMO corn, soy, everything else, spraying it with multiple doses of different insecticides, herbicides, and of course synthetic fertilizers. And then, okay, it's harvest time. Now we spray it with glyphosate, Roundup, so that it's all dried out at the same time. And then it's also mechanically conditioned on these huge $1 million combines where they're trying to dry it and everything else. We have there's nothing natural about that anymore.
No. And I think I've told you before, but I'm not sure. But years ago, when when I went to Europe, I was talking to Dr. Javari, and because she had me on a program,
Right.
and I was like, you know what I noticed over here, I say to her, is that the people that have the quote unquote gluten sensitivity in the States can eat all that stuff over here and they don't get sick.
Yeah.
And you know what she said to me, right?
Yeah. It's not the gluten.
It's because there's no GMO over here,
Yeah.
you know? And that's the problem. Because listen, you know, all these diseases and conditions are so trendy now, and the younger generation like eats it up. Like they love owning their sicknesses or whatever it is. They love
Absolutely.
owning their labels. Like you and I grew up different. It's like, don't own something that's negative, you know? Don't own, like, oh, I can't do this because of my blah, 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 you know? And
Yeah.
now people do it all the time. It's very trendy. It's very cool to be negative. It's very cool to be sick, you know?
It's a
And
crutch.
yeah, they've created it. They've created it so people will buy their drugs, will pay their doctor's fees, will do whatever they have to do. And it's even worse with pets because there's not one owner that I know that would not bring their pet to the vet before they would ever go to the doctor. It's
Yeah.
like immediate. And it makes me sick actually because they overcharge these people for everything. And it kind of makes me sick because they're preying on people's emotions for their dog. And the fact of the matter is, I said it before in this show, I'll say it again. My April, 12 years, never went to a vet in her life. She only went to see the pet health guru. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and she lasted longer than most pugs do that do go to the vet.
Right.
You know, and then you go to the vet, they're just giving them like these animals don't need this stuff out in the wild, you
No.
know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would tend to think dogs and cats, because they are supposed to be wild animals, not domesticated, that their system is designed for parasites and bacteria to fight it with no help or assistance. And then on top of it, now that we've domesticated them, we have basically killed their own natural abilities to fight things because we treat them like they're babies, like with kid gloves.
It's interesting. I had a conversation about the same type of topics, how we've over humanized them and we put different values on us. And um, it happened to be with new environment, everything else. You know, the dogs are in a different room than they normally were, and everything else, and they're barking all night because we left the light on for them. Okay, why? Well, it's a new place. We don't want the dog to be scared.
Oh my lord.
You know, it's like this is the types of things that happen all the time. They have to eat 3 meals a day. Where did that come from? In the wild, they eat when they can. You know,
Yeah,
some days they eat a lot. Some days they eat nothing. You know, they can go 3, 4, 5, even a week, 2 weeks without eating and thrive.
right. Exactly.
You
You
know,
know, it's amazing what we even do to our pets. I'll tell you a story too, is like, so my youngest daughter, Rachel, she's gotten very into cats recently. She was never really a pet person as living on her own. And now she's very into cats. And how it started is, you know, one of her cats was an outside cat that always used to
yeah,
come around her house and stuff. Now the cat's 100% inside cat, and she won't even let the cat out. And like every time she opens the door, the cat's trying to dart out. And I do say to her, I'm like, well, maybe that should tell you something.
yeah,
The cat survived while it was out there. Maybe it likes it better inside now because you've made a cushy home. But sometimes they just want to go out. Maybe they want to go out and explore. Maybe they want to go out and hunt. It's
yeah.
their natural, innate instinct, you know?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's kind of
You
like
know,
when you have bird pets as birds.
yeah,
As soon as you bring them outside, they're gone.
yeah, yeah.
No
Well,
matter how
so
much they love you, if you take them outside, they will leave you and never see you again.
most
Yep.
of them will, yeah. I mean, some of the big parrots, can be pretty much conditioned. But again, a lot of that, like with dogs, when I was early in my career, when I was helping with dog training and training trainers, stuff like that, the number two challenge that we would have would be what we call door shutting. You open the door and they're gone. They're out the door. And you're searching the neighborhood. 4 hours later, your dog actually came back home on his own. However, probably wearing either a Burger King or a McDonald's bag on his head, vomiting and diarrhea all over. Now, what was the cause of that? They're starving eating the commercial foods. There's not enough nutrients, so they are looking for what their body needs, even if it's in garbage.
Yeah.
They can sense the nutrients that their body needs. Actually, we can too if we allow ourselves to. But so, and then it's like a terrible problem. And you talk about feeding, okay, feed a species appropriate diet on a dog, on a cat. They're carnivores. That means animal product. That does not, I've never seen a wolf, digging up carrots or picking apples or, down here in Florida, squeezing orange juice. I mean, and I've never seen a pack of wolves or a pride of lions for that matter ever in a health food store picking out vitamins.
That's true. That's true. And so what I want to ask you too is, okay, so out in the wild they do eat raw meat. Like they don't know how to make a fire. They don't
No,
have a stove. They don't have a microwave. So why what do we have to be aware of with the raw food alert? Like so what's the difference between when people go to you and buy and my paleo pet and they get raw food from you opposed to somebody just trying to figure it out on their own?
they try to, well, because in the industry, and when I say that, the pet food industry and the veterinary industry, they try to put this emphasis on all these foods being complete and balanced. It's got to be scientifically formulated, otherwise, you're not doing it right. So when you start getting moving into raw ingredients, okay, you can't buy 90% of what you look at on that pet food label. It's not available to the public because it's not food.
Right.
Okay. And then, of course, the next thing is we're trying to force them again into one single recipe or two single recipes for the rest of their life. If you buy normally a dry food for your dog, vet recommended, breeder recommended, you're feeding that animal the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out. Well, because the body's dynamic, it needs different stuff. You can't have complete and balanced. What are you balancing it for? An active animal, a very ill animal, ill health animal, health challenged, a puppy, adult, old man, young man, dead, alive. It's like it's dynamic. I mean, our bodies in the last hour went through all kinds of biochemical changes just trying to get technology to work.
Yeah. And I'm here's what I'm going to say about that. The night before I left to come to Germany, I went out to eat. It took me about an hour to figure out where I actually wanted to go, and I drove past all the places I normally go more than once. And the moral of that story is I couldn't figure out where I wanted to go eat because I was so sick and tired of eating the same crap all the time. And I'm not even eating it 3 times
Yeah,
a day, every day.
yeah,
It's just like, how it is. When you live somewhere, you work somewhere, at first you go to these places and it's like, oh, it's great, it's this and that. And then you just get so tired of it, you
yeah.
know? They're like perfect example, Bole. When that first came out, I used to eat it all the time. Now it's once in a while. I still kind of like it, but I'm never like craving it. I'm never in the mood for it. You know, it's like maybe once a month now instead of, oh, I want this every day. No matter what it is,
No,
you're going to get sick of it. So why wouldn't your animals too?
That's why they're always at your feet at the table.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, the other part of that too is our animals have become what we call grazers. You put down that bowl of dry food, and they don't eat a meal. They pick one or two pieces, walk away, go back, pick one or two pieces, walk away, because it's not what they need. They're just trying to stay alive. That's all
Yeah.
it is. It's
Yeah.
and when you get into this too, where they're eating continuously, or like even with us, with eating 3 times a day and getting into that routine, our body is in storage mode at that point in time. We're just storing stuff because we can use a small part of what we just got for energy, and the rest of it, what are we going to do with it? And that's
Exactly.
that adds to obesity tremendously.
Exactly. And, I'll also add to that it is like, I want your opinion on these people that buy the automatic feeders and just leave it out
Oh,
all day.
if you're traveling and you don't have anybody who can take care of your animal, there sometimes can be a small need. But for the most part, it's just like the dishes. These crazy shaped dishes for dogs because they gulp their food. They eat too fast. They're being told they're sick because they eat too fast. In the wild, a wolf is designed and big cats are designed. If you just watch National Geographic. They grab, they rip big pieces off, and they swallow. They don't chew their food. The faster it gets into the gut, the faster it's digested, the faster it's turned into energy so I can get away from the next predator.
Absolutely. And, interesting about that too is the fact that, you know, they don't sit there and, you know, first of all, they don't eat dry food out in the wild.
No, there is
Okay.
no kibble tree.
Exactly. Right. I'm sure some people wish there was, but there isn't.
Yeah.
And, the fact of the matter is that, listen, just like us as humans, animals know innately what they need.
Yes.
Okay. The body will tell you what it needs and what it shouldn't have, so, and I got to tell you something too, like going back to April, when I would put her food down from you, like it would be gone in a nanosecond.
Yes.
Like I never have seen a dog that into eating, but when it was eating your food.
hmm Yeah, that's the way they eat in nature. Now, one of the other things too, when we look at feeding raw diets, and the terrible thing about it, when you're feeding kibble, it's dry. It dehydrates the body. So now the animal is in a constant state of stress. When they feed raw, that's 70% living water.
Yeah,
Not dead bottled water, but actually living with the hormones and enzymes and all the bio available nutrients that they need. I've had people come into the store and say, "Bill, I've been feeding your food 6 months, 9 months. Where do the nutrients come from?" Well, where do your nutrients come from?
Oh
I
my
know they
god.
come out of that nutraceutical, that supplement bottle. That's where I have to get my nutrients. No, and
Oh,
it's not in
oh,
the food.
well, do the nutrients come from maltodextrin or any of those other chemicals that are in the food? Is that where the nutrients come from?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, you know, we have to wonder how people can't understand. And of course that's why we do these segments, is to try to make people put the facts in front of you so you do understand that basically everything is has been designed for us in a natural way. We don't have to invent anything new.
No, that's to create jobs
Yes.
and repeat customers. And here's the thing, I guarantee you that anybody that tries out your food for their pets is going to see a huge difference in their pets.
Yeah, it's true, but they have to get over that mentally. They think that whenever you change a diet, you're going to get cleansing, and
Yeah.
vomiting and diarrhea is nothing more than housekeeping. But the medical community has said that's sickness. You got to come see us right away for drugs, and so they're not willing to put up with that week of having to clean up an extra couple poops or vomits, so that their animal is on a healthy path.
You have to
It's
get
not,
over
it's
the
not-
hump.
Yeah, it's about their convenience. Oh, I don't want to walk my dog. I'm afraid he's going to get diarrhea. I'm afraid he's going to vomit. You know, what do I do then? You know, and then of course the medical community just feeds into it. Oh my God, your dog might have cancer.
Oh my
The bad
God.
stuff has to come out somehow, right?
Even the cancer's got to come out of the body if you want to live.
Now,
No,
for the
that,
people,
no
and
doubt.
I've seen people do this that where they say like, "Oh, kibble is dry, it's not good for your dog," and they put it into water, kind of like the worst cereal ever. What do you got to say about that?
Well, that's exactly what it is. The whole thing with modern dog food um, was um, invented in 1955. It's called extrusion, the process of making it in those shapes and colors and all that. And the companies that co-invented that process was Quaker Oats and Ralston Purina, cereal companies, wheat
Mm,
checks, rice checks, and corn checks, and of
mm.
course Kennel Ration on the pet food side, and you know Purina Pet Chow, obviously. Those
Oh,
were cereal
you got
companies.
puppy chow, adult chow, and so I have a question. In the wild, do puppies and adults eat differently?
Absolutely. You know, the puppy food is this very, very special mixture that mom makes. It's called milk.
What a concept.
And then when that's not enough nutrition for us, we hunt and kill and eat raw.
Another
And we
great concept.
and we grow big and we grow strong and fast and healthy. And in the wild, it's not, and even in our population, if we do this, it's not unusual for canines to live 20 to 30 years.
And they used to,
Yeah, they used to.
but they don't really anymore
No.
unless they go to the pet health guru. So, how do we let people know how to come to your store, how to order online, how to check out your podcast, check out your live streaming show, all that good stuff?
Well, first off, all this information that we give today is on our podcast and in the 18th season. I mean, this stuff I can't. I just keep talking about the same stuff all the time, and that's the Pet Health Cafe, pethealthcafe.com, and Pet Health Cafe, of course, on these stations as well. Um, we also are uh, sponsored by, of course, BioComplete Natural Diets and by My Paleo Pet. My Paleo Pet is our retail store where all this stuff is available. MyPaleoPet.com is the website where you can go in and order and see all the various things that we do. We also have a farm to table for people because people health is just as important to us. If you're not a healthy pet parent, you can't take care of your animal. And if you understand what we do with the pets and start it with you, you will see miraculous changes in your own life. And BioComplete is actually the manufacturer of these great products. Many of which have been formulated by me using, you know, uh, science with nature, which is something that most companies don't do. They don't include what's natural in that. They'll take something and label it as natural because they found a single component in a diet that they can add to it to make that claim, but it's not natural. We've talked about it on these podcasts as well. Species appropriate diet. What should you be eating in nature? We can't decide whether we're vegan or carnivore or lion in the human population. How can we decide what our dogs and cats are going to eat?
Exactly. Well, as always, you're a wealth of information. And not only that, but you have some of the best food around. I remember that first time I walked in your store, I felt like I was in an Italian deli in New York, or, you know, and so everybody make sure to check out Pet Health Cafe, My Paleo Pet. The pet health guru knows what he's talking about, and he can help your pet because he is the place where your pet has a voice. Thanks a lot, Pet Health Guru. And
Hey,
thank
thank
you,
you for having
everybody
me on.
else. And
Yep.
thank you, everybody else, for being here on the Adventures of Pipe Man on Positively Pipe Man. Roll it, Juan.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.